So a friend of mine asked me to take a look at his 1979 Washburn A20-V. He said that's pretty, isn't it? He said one of the push-pull switches, it's either wired incorrectly or it just burned out or something, because instead of switching the pups with a push or a pull, it changes as he turns the volume up and down. So it's either wired wrong or the switch is bad, but I'm probably just going to replace them. Alright, so what I can gather so far push down, the volume switch doesn't really work. There's a dead spot. There's a dead spot in it. Right there. Yeah, it's definitely got a dead spot pushed in and pulled out. We also talked about putting some new shielding in it, so I'm probably going to just use shielding paint and make sure it's grounded well. The jack is very tight, so I'm going to leave that alone. It feels good, sounds good. It's a neck through body. Looks like the rear plate is not original because one of the screws is missing and the hole doesn't match. There's no hole under it, and the plates they don't mesh, you know. This one hangs over. So pretty sure that's not original. Gonna try the easiest way to figure out if there's any power going through each pup. So right now I've got it set on the neck with both the volume pots pulled up. Okay, that works. The neck is working. The bridge is not, which that's the way it's supposed to be right now. And all the controls are at top end. Now it's bridge and neck. Okay. I need to make a template for the wiring. And then take off the strings and measure everything before I do that. Make sure I know where he wants the pups to be back at. Push pull volume, tone, tone. Three-way selector. Don't forget about the jack. That is very deep. Okay. Okay, so I got the center-ish of each pot. I'm hoping to reuse the wire here, but we'll see. Just in case. Say about 9 inches of wire. I better not do that with this guitar sitting here. It's not mine. Go 10 inches just for giggles. You know what? Let's go 11 inches just for giggles. And then there'll be a hanger to hang it on the wall. Also, there's probably a ground wire. Let's see. Probably a ground wire on the bridge or up in the spring tensioner. So it's probably up here, usually is. So right at the end of the paper there. About there. I was just checking the radius, and this guitar has a 14-inch radius. So I had to tighten the screws here on the ends of the tuners because they were really loose. On the A, B, on the A, G, and B. Keep in mind when you're taking these apart that the size of the screws. This plate, the screws are longer and larger than these plates. So you got to make sure, remember that. Write it down or take pictures or something. Alright, this is what we've got. Alright, 473 UF. 22. 500K pots. Really nasty looking solder job. Alright, I'm going to make a map of this the way it is sitting right now. So this little wire right here is this see-through wire right here. Note that he's got the bridge springs tight enough to hold the bridge down. A lot of people do that, including myself. Well, this guitar has push poles in it, and in order to use that option, you have to wire to at least one of these lugs here, and that is not the case here. So I'm going to rewire it correctly. I'm going to replace the switches because they're original. I forgot to have the camera rolling when I was cutting out the switches, cutting out all the wiring. Let's see if I can show you this. And alright, here we go. We're going to start from scratch. Take out the pickups and start from scratch. Prepare to put 3 layers of conductive shielding paint in the cavities, and the 3 layers have to be 12 hours apart. But right now the car has 30 years of crud built up on it. I believe I've stated before, but the owner, my friend, has the bridge tightened all the way down to the guitar body, so I want to make note of that. And I want to measure the spring plate, how far away it is, because I don't want to over tighten that, hurt anything. So in order to put on the shielding paint, I'm going to have to take the springs out. I'm going to have to loosen up the spring plate, get some tension off of them, the springs. He had the springs in the middle 3 holes. It doesn't really matter. Most people spread them out, but it doesn't matter. Some say it does, I suppose. So technically and theoretically, once I get the shielding paint into the cavity, just the mere fact that these screws have to go through the paint into the body, everything will be grounded no matter what, as long as it's tied all together. I'm not going to depend on that, but I'm just telling you theory. This ground wire is going in recycling. It's shot. So I'm going to check the control potholes. The new stuff that I got for this guitar had to be larger than the original stuff, so we'll see. Hang on. Let's not drop stuff, shall we? So this new switchcraft is just barely, this new switchcraft is just barely a couple threads outside. Well, first problem, this switch is too big, too long for the guitar, so I'm going to have to order a different switch, shorter body switch.